guys, welcome to Moving On TV. My name is Laurene. I'm the proud CEO of Moving On TV. As you can see, I've got the new logo in the background. You can just about see it. Moving On TV Mental Health. As you can see, there's a little TV inside the star. So now exactly what we are. We're Moving On TV Mental Health. I think it's just moved my arm. Moving On TV Mental Health. And you've got the little star, little TV inside the star, because we are a TV station. We are a TV station. And we're here. Hey guys, welcome to Moving On TV. My name is Laurene. I'm the proud CEO of Moving On TV. As you can see, I've got the new logo in the background. You can just about see it. Moving On TV Mental Health. As you can see, there's a little TV inside the star. So now exactly what we are. We're Moving On TV Mental Health. I think it's just moved my arm. Moving On TV Mental Health. And you've got the little star, little TV inside the star, because we are a TV station. We are a TV station. And we're here to present to you a new TV station, bringing the hope and glory back into your lives. A TV station based on love, based on compassion, based on your talents and your skills. So you don't need to go anywhere. A positive TV station that keeps you sane on a daily basis to the best of our abilities. We hope you can join us on Moving On TV. We hope you can become part of the new world and the light that we are projecting. Take care, lots of love. My name is Laurene. I'm the proud CEO. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye.
I started making videos for social media because I felt like there was another story that could be told. I wanted to tell that story through video.
Hey guys, welcome to Moving On TV. And sometimes I wonder why my guests don't come on, and then I realize I haven't sent them the link. Okay. Well, Mario is coming on at 9:30, and all the way from Mexico, and that's why we're playing Mexican music. Right, I'm going to try and get on Instagram now. Put some more Mexican music on. A Mexicana! Woo-hoo! Fiesta time. Should be quite interesting to interview someone from Mexico. I was in Mexico once, were you? With my friend Yasmin. Yasmin Ibarra Sarkis is in Mexico. She lives in Mexico. So please got the link. I'm just going to try and get us on Instagram. I don't have a sombrero. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. I can see him in the studio there. Just trying to get on Instagram as we speak. I'm having a struggle here getting on. I don't think we're going to be able to go onto Instagram tonight. Never mind, we're on everywhere else, so if anybody wants to watch us, we are on lots of different channels at the moment. He's probably going to hate this music, so I'm going to turn it off now. Dreadful. Right, I can see Mario. Oh, hang on. As I said, I'm just trying to get us onto Instagram. Seems to be not enough storage on the phone at the moment. So anyway, we're on HAP, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Facebook Moving On TV, Laurene, Francis Otziwill, and Boba Bertha on Facebook. We're on Twitch, Moving On TV. We're on Twitter, Moving On TV. We're on YouTube, Mental Health, Moving On TV, Mental Health. I'll be with you in a second. I can see you sit there very patiently. So anyway, Mario Esteban, or Esteban Duran, I'm not sure yet what we call him, is going to come on to Moving On TV and do a show about Marvel heroes. Sounds very interesting. I'm not sure what that is. I presume it's things like Superman, stuff like that. Ooh, what's that funny noise? I mean, I'm just waiting for it. this to clean itself up. In the meantime, I'm just telling you a little bit about one of our new presenters all the way from Mexico. So I'm just trying to get us on Instagram at the moment, if you can hear me. But I seem to be having a bit of an issue with it. So we'll be going with what we have. Here we go. Okay, live. Right. Okay, so we're going live on Instagram. Okay. Just checking connection. There we go. And we're live. I think we're live on Instagram. It's very dark. Goodness, why is it so dark? Sorry about this. Very, very dark. Okay. Right. I'm going to invite. Thank you. There's a cat meowing out there. They've just been fed as usual. Okay, I'm going to invite Esteban into the studio and find out exactly what it is we call him first. So, welcome to Moving On TV. Hi there.
Thank you, Laurene. It's
How
very
are you?
to. I'm very fine. I'm very fine.
Good, good,
What
good.
about you?
Okay, so what do we call you? What's your real name? So is it Mario Esteban Duran or how many? What's your actual name?
Yeah, Mario is my name. I have two names, Mario and Esteban. Duran is my surname. Oh, I can't hear you right now.
Of course, because I just muted.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Because sometimes I'm checking the echo. Right, we're on everywhere. We're on all social medias, apart from LinkedIn at the moment. We're on Instagram. We're on all the others. So
okay.
Mexico, Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I was in Mexico years ago. I have a friend called Yasmin Ibarra Sarkis, and I went to Mexico a long time ago. We're talking about a long time ago, about nearly 30 years ago. And I remember going there, and I met her mom. Maybe all tamales. Is it tamales? Those like sweet pancakes, tamales.
Tamales.
Tamales. Yeah, she made me all these lovely food, and everyone was so friendly. And I remember because the reason I went there is I did a tour around America, and Yasmin came to meet me. And first of all, we went to America, we went to Disneyland and all the attractions. And then I went on to Mexico to spend a week with her. And I remember one of the things I'll never forget is you feel when you get there, the altitude is so strange that you feel really, really like you're walking on air. Yeah, you feel like you're spaced out for a few days. Anyway, you probably won't know that because you're used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Were you born in Mexico? Just tell me a little bit about your background, where you were born, a little bit about your family, a little bit about your life before becoming an actor, because you're now an actor, producer. You produce your own programs, creator, and yeah, just a little bit about yourself, Mario. Okay, so it's okay to call you Mario. Oh, you frozen. Hello? It's frozen with tongue out.
Here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm going to mute and I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself, okay?
Okay. Well, so I was born in Mexico City, and I have lived my entire life here. So I almost 21 years here in Mexico City, and well, always loved movies. Uh, my entire life, really, I have loved movies and Marvel in general. That's the constant of my life, to be honest. I can remember any time that I wasn't involved in something in a movie or in a character. It was really what inspired me to make stop motions. I've made stop motions for 6 years now, and well, every year I have new projects. And for example, last year I premiered Outside the Ring in a festival, and I also premiered Black Widow Forever Red. Outside the Ring was a 4 minute short film, and this Black Widow Forever Red was a feature film. It was an hour long. It took me 2 years, and it's going the festival rounds, and it's been a great ride with those projects because it's a ton of work, and well, it's really a big part of my life, and well, I have to put everything to make those films really pop up and be big projects and feel like they have a big budget when I really don't have a big budget. So that's the most difficult part, but it's very enjoyable, and I'm having a lot of fun. And I'm also working right now in a movie called We Don't Say Retard Anymore. It's going to premiere on May, I think. And I'm also working on a short film that it's going to be, well, at least mid-budget, and it's going to feel very cinematic, and that's what I'm loving about those projects. And well, I'm also an actor. For 5 years now, I began very in my early ages, and well, I have mostly done theater. I have done at least 4 seasons of theater in a play called Contra el Sistema, relates to Against the System, and Los Rotos, that translates to The Broken Ones. They are very dramatic plays, but very rich. I got to express myself as an actor, as an individual, and in Los Rotos, I played a younger version of another character, and it's like his inner child, and I'm like a ghost. And it was my first play, and it was very emotional, and I think all the cast crushed it. It was very exciting and sad because me as a young person, I wasn't broken. I was the only one that wasn't broken. Everyone in the cast, their characters were so broken, and I was just a dream. So that was very sad, and it was a nice experience. I got to play a very angry, and it was,
Okay.
I think, the best experience.
Can I
And
ask you then to talk a little bit? Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I'm used to it before. Can you tell us a little bit about the characters. When you say the characters were broken, but you weren't, do you want to explain a little bit? What does that actually mean? The characters were broken. Do you want to go into a little bit of detail about that? Thanks.
Okay, so this play was based on Akira Murakami, well, entire work career. So when Murakami writes characters, they are usually broken because they have lived a uh, very tough life, and they took so many bad decisions, and they cannot live in peace anymore. So me as a young guy, I was like, well, I haven't done anything bad, and I haven't lived a very lengthy life, so I couldn't feel broken because of my age. But they, as adults, um, yes, they would feel very broken because their bad experiences, their bad habits, their bad decisions. That's why they are broken, and that's why I wasn't broken. I
Thank
was
you.
like 12 years old. No, 12 no years old.
Are you talking about them being broken in life? The actors? Are you talking about the
No,
characters?
the
Are you talking
characters.
about
The characters.
Oh, okay, okay. So, right, because this is mental health TV. So, when you talk
Mm,
about people that are not
yeah.
fully, they have, well, if you call it issues, we talk about mental health. We don't talk about mental illness. I don't believe so much in mental illness, as we all have issues, we all have problems, we're shocked in different ways.
Mhm,
So, people that have addictions, people that drink too
mhm.
much or smoke too much or whatever, is that when you mean they've been broken from their life experiences? So, do you mean that they've been brought to a level where they've got some kind of diagnosis, where they're depressed, where they're shocked in some way? They've been through something in life. It's really interesting. Do you know what synchronicity is? Have you heard that word? Synchronicity. It's like there's no
Sure.
coincidence that you
Okay,
have come
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
here for a reason. Yeah, you came onto this TV station for a reason. Everyone that comes on to Moving On TV, they come on with some kind of message that is going to go out to the general public or to the human race to show some understanding of what we're going through in life, or in order to help in some way. Does that make sense? Does that make sense
Yes,
what I'm
that
saying? How old are you, did you say? How old
I'm
are you?
20. I'm 21 years old. This
You're
Saturday,
21.
I'm going to turn 21.
Oh, wow, it'll be your birthday. Oh, we should do a celebration on here. I do celebrations, birthday celebrations sometimes, or Moving On TV if you want. But anyway, so it's really interesting. So you're 21 years old and you were in a play which was all about broken characters. Yeah. But your character was pretty well formed. You've frozen.
Cannot hear you.
You frozen on me there. Oh, there you are. Okay. I presume you don't have the best connection from Mexico at the moment. Okay. So is that what you're trying to say? Is that they had issues, different types of issues, that the writer had created a play with people with different kinds of issues and problems?
Yes, yes. They are broke. They have
You're frozen again.
the
Right.
these Swiss and everyone that got there, they and some of them couldn't move forward because they love that girl, or because they feel like they had like something um, to do in her suicidal act. So yeah, that's why they are broken, because something very sad and very tough stuff happened to them. Really,
Okay.
really bad. Laurene, are you there?
We've got Mario Esteban here from Mexico trying to explain to us about a play that he was in with a lot of broken characters, broken by life, by basically why we come on here in order to try and learn how to come back together, how to become whole again, holistic beings,
Laurene,
individual, unique, holistic beings. Right. I've lost you now. So I'm interested in at least one of the characters, if he kind of describes to me what in this play that he was in, but he's gone. Right, we'll wait for him to come back again. Ah, you're back. There you are. Okay, can you hear me now? I can't hear you now. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Sorry. Ah, there you go.
can you
Now I
hear
can hear
me?
you. Yes, yes. Okay, well,
Well,
tell us a
I
little
cannot
bit
hear you.
about.
Uh,
Oh, you can't hear me now. Can you hear me?
oh, I cannot hear you. I don't know why.
You can't hear me. It's great, isn't it? I think the connection is not very good, is it? Do you want to try again? Try to come and go back again? We're struggling here with the connection. Um, can you hear me now? No.
I don't know. I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me at
Hmm.
all. Okay. Let me just check something. Okay, just let me check something. Yeah, but you, sir, was pretty well. Yeah, the sound's working.
Oh, are you mute, Laurene? Because
No,
I don't know
no,
what's happening.
I'm not muted now. You should be able to hear me. You can hear me. Well, I'll have to do sign language. No. Do you want to try?
Ah,
Hang on, let me send you a message. Try and come back again. Right, try to sign back on. We'll wait to see if Mario's going to try and sign back on, as we're having problems here with him hearing me and me hearing him, and Let's say the connection is not the best at the moment. You still can't hear me? No, I don't think so. Right, he'll try and sign back on again. He'll try and sign back on again. So yeah, we've got Mario Esteban from Mexico. He's going to be doing a show about Marvel characters, and I'm going to talk to him about that. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get a general idea about his background in Mexico, the type of acting, and the stuff that he's done so far. But we've lost him now altogether. Right. At 10:30, I'm going to be screening How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World again. If you haven't watched it, it's the theater one-woman show that I did about me and my BPDs. It's a really good explanation of borderline personality disorder, all the different characters. It's even got a song in it. Oh, he's back. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, sometimes because you need to sign back in again. Anyway, I've got you back.
Oh,
That's the main thing. Okay, so you're telling us a little bit about your background. Where does that come from? A little bit about your background. So, have you always lived in Mexico, or have you lived anywhere else in the world?
well, I have lived my entire life here in Mexico City.
And did you do any other jobs apart from acting, or did you go straight into, did you go to drama school? Did you go straight into acting? How did you become, you said you started very young, at about the age of 12. So what happened? How did you get discovered?
Well, I think because I saw many movies, I was like, I want to become an actor. And yeah, I got into a drama school, and then that drama school was looking for actors, and they picked me
Okay. So you did go to drama school. How long were you in drama school for?
for like 3 years.
Okay. And did you do musical theater as well? Do you sing as well and dance?
Well, I like to dance and to sing, but not professionally. And I I don't dislike, but I don't like as much the musical theater as just acting. I just wanted to focus on acting, and I don't know. I don't get into musicals really much, but I don't hate them.
Okay. And what are your favorite kind of characters that you want to play? Do you like playing villains? Do you like playing comedy? What do you really like doing? What kind of characters? What's the main characters that have you done any? I know you told us you were in this play, an original play, but have you done anything generic like that everybody would know? Maybe Shakespeare in Spanish?
Oh, yeah, I played uh, Scrooge. I played Scrooge 3 years ago
Okay. What, in English or in Spanish?
in Spanish.
Okay. Okay. How do you say, is that you, Marley? The ghost. How do you say that in Spanish? Or there's no Christmas this year. No. Give us a little bit of Scrooge in Spanish. God.
Okay, Scrooge was very. I played Scrooge like 3 years ago, so I don't remember that much exactly, but I'm going to try. Okay. Pamplinas, ¿es en serio? Tú tienes que traerme lo que yo quiera, ¿ok? Porque tienes esta necesidad dramática de lo que tienes que hacer. Y tú sabes que a mí no me gusta que falten al respeto, ¿ok? así que te lo diré una vez más. Tienes que traerme lo que yo te pida. ¿Ok? That more or less that was it. Oh, I cannot hear you.
That's me. I was muted.
Oh,
So I
okay.
heard there's something about bambino, bambina, children, and me gusta is too much or something like that. What were you saying? What were you actually saying?
Well, I said something like, "You kid, you have to take me to that house to bring me that toy for my kid." I don't know. Well, it was a mixture of improvisation because I don't remember exactly what he said.
Yeah, you see, the thing about actors is we forget. Obviously, you forget the script. You know, if you don't do it for about a year, you completely forget it. I know because I toured a lot in my own theatre company, and I toured as Edith Piaf. You know the French singer Edith Piaf. I
Yeah,
think they know her in
yeah.
Mexico. They know her. Yeah, everyone knows Piaf and Maria Callas. And if but the thing is that I would forget the lines completely. I'd have to pick up a script again a year later and relearn everything. Hi, Cara. Cara is on. She's from Ireland. It's brilliant to have you here, sweetheart. This is Esteban. So how come? So where
Hello.
did you learn? Where did you learn English? Did you learn English in school, or is it part of your curriculum?
Yes, it was at a school when I was in primary school. I don't know if primary school exists there, but it's like primary school.
Oh, so you study English as part of your curriculum? Like most
Yeah.
countries have to use English as a second language, don't they? So what languages do you speak? You speak Spanish, English. Is Mexican a separate language to Spanish? I can't
No,
remember.
no, it Mexican Spanish is Latin American Spanish. So it's like the Castilian Spanish, but with some twists, but very minor twists.
Okay, okay, right. So coming back to the kind of characters, so you played Scrooge. Have you played anything else? Have you done any Shakespeare in Spanish? At all?
Well, I have done King Lear, but just as in the school, not actually in professional acting, just to learn how to read the characters and only to learn, but not professionally because they are very complex.
Yeah, they are. They are. I can see you actually as a very good comedian. You've got that aura of somebody who could be very funny. I could see you in something like A Midsummer Night's Dream or one of the comedies rather, but you're probably a very good villain as well. But you come across more as anybody who can do comedy well can do the villain really well. And of course the villain is the most exciting, obviously. So, so tell us, okay. So tell us a little bit now about the program that you're going to be producing for Moving on TV, which is about Marvel characters. Now, Cara and me, the Marvel characters that I would say would be Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Batwoman, Wonder Woman. Is that what you intend to present to us? Is storylines around those characters or something else? So I'm just going to mute again so you can explain to us what your program.
Okay, well, so my program is going to be about Marvel characters, and I plan on uh, explaining some important storylines for some characters like Spider-Man that are very well known, but also characters that maybe not well known, like Moon Knight, like MODOK, Ant-Man, and well, so I'm planning on presenting the characters that people love, but also people that really they don't know that they exist. So it's going to be a mixture of that and news about upcoming Marvel series and movies like Moon Knight, like She-Hulk, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Maybe make a trailer reaction every now and then and make reviews about those movies and series. And that's about it. But I think I can on that.
Okay, before you do, it sounds like you've got a zoo in the back garden. You've got, I can hear all these animals at the moment. You've got animals in the house.
Yeah, I have three parrots.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do they imitate you? Do they copy what you say?
Well, they only know like three words. They laugh and they say ¿Quieres a Coco? And cotorro.
Is that rude?
No,
What
no, 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 no.
Quieros a coco. Quieros is what where? Quieros is where, is it?
¿Quieres is um, well, in this context, it's about love. So it's about do you love Coco?
Okay. Is it called Coco? The
Yeah,
parrot. Do you
yeah.
love Sweet. Do you know what? I remember once when I was I think I was in Tenerife, and I remember going to the toilet once, and there was a parrot outside, and it was chatting away outside, this parrot. And I also I had a foster family when I was growing up, and they had loads of birds. And I remember once I went to work, and I came back from work, and this parrot was going, "Hello, Lauren. Hello, Lauren." I was looking around. Where are you? It was a parrot. She said to me, "How was your day today?" They can be very funny. Birds can be very, very funny. So you've got three parrots. Do they communicate between each other?
Yes, they communicate like with shouting, a lot of shouting.
They're very loud. Can we see them? What they look like?
Oh, okay, well, two of them are here, and the other one is with my mom because he's
Okay.
like the baby of the family.
Oh, the baby parrots. Are they all brothers and sisters? Oh, family. Family of parrots. Let's see them. I can hear one.
I think I cannot turn my camera, but here he is. Coco.
Is that Coco?
He-
Hola, 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 hola. Buenos días, buenos días, buenas noches.
Coco.
Hola, hola, Coco. Sorry. Oh, bless. What's the time there? What's the time in Mexico?
Well, I cannot hear you. I don't know why.
Oh, you lost me again.
Is it you or do I have to restart my cell phone?
No, I'm not muted. I can hear the parrot.
Well, I think I'm going to have to restart my cell phone to hear you. So,
Okay, you're gonna have to
wait a
go there and
moment,
come back.
please.
Okay. All right then. Yeah. What a fascinating interview, guys. I basically, yeah, would be cool to have a program with someone with animals because we don't have anybody doing a program with pets. Cara, is there anything you want to ask Mario at all? And anybody, if you want to ask him anything, we'll wait for him to come back. So, yeah, fascinating to talk to someone in Mexico. There he is, he's back. Mexico, there he is. Right, you're back. Can you hear me
Yeah, I'm
now?
back
I'm
and I
always
can
asking,
hear you.
can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you.
Fabulous. Okay. So I was saying, we don't have a program about pets. It would be fascinating to have someone do a program about Mexican parrots. Mexican parrots. Okay, then. So how did you get your parrot? I don't know. Tuned in too late. Sorry. Have you got anything you would like to ask Mario, Cara? He's going to be doing a program about Marvel characters. Okay, well, tell us a little, Cara, what to think of it if she's got a question. But tell us a little bit more about the program, how you're going to present it, because I know you sent me the first episode. I need to edit it. But before we do that, if you want to introduce a little bit more to the whoever's watching about the actual program and how you're going to present it, what are you going to present, say in program 1 and then 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let me just unmute.
Okay, so my program it's going to introduce new. Well, each program it's going to introduce new characters and new storylines, and well, if a trailer for a Marvel movie or series premieres, I'm going to be reacting to it. But aside of the reactions and reviews that I'm going to be doing, I can give you a bit of trivia, fun stuff, fun facts about their creation from Spider-Man to Moon Knight and MODOK and characters that people really know and love and characters that they don't really know much about.
The characters,
Each program,
the characters that people do know about, which characters are they, for
I
example?
think the most well known is Spider-Man, but also Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Black Panther, the Avengers. I think they are the most well known.
Superman, Batman. So, are you going to be like, for example, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, isn't he? Peter Parker,
Yes, Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker.
I used to love what's his name? Oh God, Toby.
Tobey
What was his name?
Maguire.
Toby Maguire. Yeah, the little guy. He was brilliant. I
Uh,
used to love. Was it Toby Maguire?
yes, the one from the trilogy is Tobey Maguire, then
Yeah,
Andrew
I
Garfield,
love
and
him.
then Tom Holland.
No, I like Toby Maguire. I used to say he was just, there was something about him, an innocence about him. It's very interesting that that's something you could talk about because there were three. It's a bit like a character has been played by so many different actors. Like the Saint. Did you ever hear of the film? Or James Bond. James Bond, of course, was played by
Yeah.
so many different characters, and it doesn't matter who played him. I mean, Sean Connery. I don't think you could have played him better than Sean Connery. But then you got Roger Moore, who was like really posh, and they were all played very differently because they're such good actors. And as you know, an actor plays as a character. You play it in your character. So to me, I must admit, I like Tobey Maguire. There's just something about him. he played the underdog because he was only a little guy, and I think a lot of empathy went out to him because he seemed like a little boy. You know, he's very innocent. There was an innocence about him, and the fact that he was an orphan and he was brought up by his aunt and his uncle gets killed and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of empathy. And it's interesting because, you know, with Superman, they used to have that Smallville, you know, Smallville. They made where they did the story of Superman as a young boy and as a
Yeah.
teenager. It's very easy to identify with these characters and make them real, isn't it? Make them into real
Yes,
people. Yeah. But when you come to
totally.
someone like Batman, that I would find more difficult getting people to identify with Bruce Wayne because he seems to have everything. He seems to be rich and he has everything, has the
Yeah.
mansion. But you know, I don't know enough about him. That would be your job to create an empathy in the viewer in some way. And what would be really interesting is, do they have issues? And these characters, they've all got issues. Like Superman came, the minute you put kryptonite anywhere near him, he's gone. You know, kryptonite could be like if you took someone who had an addiction to drugs. If you gave them that drug, then that's their kryptonite. You know, do you see what I'm trying to do here? Is I'm trying
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
show them as real people with issues because that's what I feel I like to present on Moving on TV. And in spite of that, Spider-Man, when he becomes Spider-Man, he's a hero because everyone's a hero, Mario. Everyone inside has got that, haven't they? I even today somebody had to remind me that I am a hero because I forgot. You know, something I've got to do tomorrow. I've got a big thing to do tomorrow. They reminded me, Lauren, you're not scared of anything. You do what you have to do. But sometimes people may be watching this and they may not realize that there is a Superman in there. There is a Batman. In a positive way, they have a hero inside of them. And that's what I want you to present in your show. I want you to be able to show these superheroes as ordinary people behind the superhero. Does that make sense?
Yes, that make completely sense, and that's why many people love them because they can see them in, as an example, as someone flaw like them. They have powers, but they have weaknesses because they are mostly human.
Very interesting how I love interviewing people because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to talk about in an interview. And then we start to talk and the questions or something starts to wake up and I know I'm going to ask you this. Like if you look at the Incredible Hulk, I mean, he completely loses control. He doesn't want to turn into the Incredible Hulk. He's like this ordinary man, and then something happens that it's really somebody who can't control their temper. You know what I mean? He's someone who's got a terrible temper, and that's why he becomes the Hulk. And so again, it's showing human beings that these superheroes are not really superhuman. They have got traits like we have. They're the same as we are. You know, and that's what I'm really interested in is the man behind the human inside there. So talk to me a little bit more. You brought up some other characters that I've never heard of. So give us an example of one of those, and a non-generic one that I actually have never heard of that.
I think Moon Knight would be that character. Have you heard of him?
Moonlight.
Moon Knight.
All right, no, never heard. How do you spell that? Sorry.
Moon like Moon. Knight Kight.
Oh, Moon Knight. A
Moon
knight.
Knight.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, that's interesting. So what does he do? I've never heard of him. Sorry.
Well,
Have
he
you heard
is
of him, Sarah? Moon Knight.
well, he's very complex because he has um, a personal disorder and character disorder. Well, he has multiple personalities, so he has to deal with them. And
Uh,
well, he fights like Batman, but with multiple personalities, and each of them brings something new to the table.
that sounds fascinating. Now, these multiple personalities, are they positive personalities? Do they enhance his life? You're saying he's using these personalities in order to do something to help people? Because that's usually
Well,
what Marvel characters do.
uh, well, he has four personalities. One of them is very positive. One of the other one is very conflictive and violent, and the other ones are like very intelligent, and they don't do good things or bad things. They are kind of in the middle. Oh, I cannot hear you. Oh, Laurene.
I'm muted. Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is fascinating. You see, when I went on, I had 500 applicants to do shows and movie on TV. 500 people at least contacted me. And for some reason, I was directed to certain people. Now, the whole of my life story, and I've done a whole one-woman show which is going on after this. It's called Me and My BPDs. BPDs is borderline personality disorder. It's when you have lots of characters that are part of you, and if you learn how to live with them, you can be a very good actor. And you can use them in a positive way. Like you have the whinger, the martyr, the victim, the peacemaker. Everything. There's so many. We're all built from loads of personalities. We all have them. Yeah. But with me, they gave me a diagnosis of a mental health issue. So I went out and proved that it's not a mental illness, that we all have them. And I do a show. So what you're saying is these characters all have this one in particular, Moon Knight. The moon is all about hiding. When you see the moon, it's like you say that something is hiding behind something. The moon is hiding, you're hiding behind something, waiting for it to come through, to be revealed. The moon. And so the moon night is very interesting. We're actually going through a moon in Cancer at the moment, I think, which is creating a lot of people are starting to have a lot of emotions coming up because the moon, everything, when the moon changes, everything, people get affected by it, because we're just fluids. So when you say the moon night, that's interesting. So that he is revealing his characters. He's bringing them to the surface. But as I say, I never heard of him. So how did you find out about him? Is there a film or a comic?
Well, the thing about Marvel is that everything it's connected. So in a Spider-Man comic, he might appear, and I think I knew him because he appeared in a Spider-Man comic.
Right. Okay. So you're pulling out the newer Marvel, the sideline characters, and trying to show us in an interesting way how they can, how what they're actually made of and how they use the different parts of themselves in the storylines, I presume. So what kind of storyline? Can you give us an idea of Moon Knight and a part of his storyline within one of the other characters?
Um, well, well, they have multiple storylines, so why? And to be honest, the Moon Knight is very underrated. I think they canceled like 5 times his so he hasn't had like a particular storyline aside of his origin story that is like an Egyptian god that brings him brings one of his personalities power, but I think he hasn't had a very remarkable solo storyline, unfortunately, because he's a very rich character. But he's going to appear in Disney Plus this March, so I think boost in comic sales. It's going to He's going to become a most recognizable character.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing your shows now because this sounds really interesting. So, because it's not just going to be about those characters that we actually know, you're going to be drawing out the characters that we don't know and showing the context, how they connect to the storylines, which is really, really interesting as well. So, what are you going to call your show?
I think I'm going to call my show the Marvel Multiverse Show.
Marvel Multiverse. Multiverse?
Multiverse.
Universe? Right, okay. Brilliant. Okay. So as I say, I think you've made it really, really interesting. Are the parrots going to be in it?
Well, maybe if they want to show up, they are going to show up.
Because they're very chatty there in the background. As I said, what would be actually fascinating would be to do a little bit, if you can film them, maybe send that to me separately, because people will be interested, I think, in a little bit about where you live and what part of Mexico do you live in? Mexico? Do you live
Uh,
in?
the Mexico City, that's like the capital of Mexico.
You live in Mexico City?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I remember they took me to a church. It was covered in gold, gold everywhere, right in the center. I still remember it. The whole of it was more or less gold. So don't get me started. People have nothing, and you've got a church covered in gold. But I'm not going to get into that because it might upset some people. Are you religious?
Well, my family is. I'm still trying to find what I really uh, what I really believe and that because yeah I'm not an atheist, but I really have to find more info about it to have a very to have a religion.
Well, I think, if you're on here, then you're special. Everyone who comes on Moving on TV is special and unique. And I'm really, really grateful to have you here. But I can't believe we'll be talking nearly an hour. So I'm gonna have to go soon. But I want you to tell me, what is the part, your dream part that you want to play? What is that?
Oh, I couldn't hear you very well. Can you repeat it, please?
What is the dream role that you would like to play as an actor? If someone said to you, asked you, here's all the roles in the world, all the best characters, all the best acting parts in the world, what would be your favorite? What would you like to play?
Well, I think this is very predictable, but of course, I would love to be Spider-Man.
You'd love to be, okay, why?
Well, because he is very popular character, and he connects many people, childs, but also adults. So it's a very groundbreaking character, and it would be very, very exciting to play him.
You couldn't have a fear of heights. Sorry. And
No,
then
not really.
flies. It's just my sense of humor, you know. You don't want to be caught in a web. I love Spider-Man. He is actually, I think, one of my favorite. I just love the whole way that the way he climbs, like, the way he gets up the buildings
Yeah.
and climbs up and down. The way they do it, the choreography of the, even though these are real people, it's so clever the way they make them look when they're climbing up and down the buildings. And of course, who doesn't love Superman because he whooshes and flies up? But no, Spider-Man, I'd say Tobey Maguire was always my favorite, and I like McCarthy. Was it McCarthy? Was it Andrew? What was his name? The one that came
Andrew
out?
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. No, I didn't. It's a shame because I think Tobey Maguire he still looks really young. They could have kept him on. It's just the stigma of Hollywood, isn't it? When it comes to age, they have to bring on someone much younger. Anyway, it's been amazing talking to you, Mario. I'm really looking forward to getting your program together in the next week or so. I'll edit it. Have you done an opening and an ending for it? I'm trying to think. We'll have to find a piece of music that is really like dum da dum, something like that. Yeah, generic, royalty-free superhero piece of music, or a really good classical, like dum 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 dum, like William Tell, something really really powerful. And have you done an opening and an ending, or do you need me to do that? Like I do usually, with your name and everything. Your
I think I can. I have an idea, and in the
okay,
next few days, I'm going to prepare that opening.
that'd be cool. And then just send it to me, and then I'll just put
Yes.
moving on to the opening and ending on there. And as I say, I think what would be really nice as well is if you show us around Mexico City a little bit. Could you maybe do that? A little bit of some, just you showing us around Mexico City and the parrots, like an introduction to your life, because that would be really fascinating to have that as well, to be able to show the viewers as I'm introducing them to your show.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
definitely going to shoot something outside and with the
yeah.
parrots.
How's the weather in Mexico? Is it warm at the moment?
Ooh, we have every weather possible every day.
Yeah,
Like
like
in the
England.
morning, it's very cold,
Hmm.
and in the night, it's very warm.
Wow. So you get the warmth at night and the cold during that's a bit strange, isn't it? Yeah. We have strange weather. But anyway, it's been incredible talking to you. So you take care and give my love to your
Thank you.
parents and to your family. And send me what you've got. And I'll talk to you soon. So Kara's saying thank you very much and goodbye, and she's looking forward to seeing your program. And keep tuned in, Mario, because I'm going to put on my live show, How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World, which is where I explain about my recovery, how I recovered without medication. And I explain all these different characters and how we put them into acting. Because unfortunately, it's very difficult to go on the stage at the moment in the UK. So, for obvious reasons that politically I'm not going to go into, I don't know how it is in Mexico, but I presume you're having the same problems as everywhere else at the moment. So, we have to do it here on Moving on TV. So you take care, and it's lovely meeting you. Okay. How do you say, hola? I know hola. How do you say goodbye? Buenas noches is good night. Buenas
Yes.
tardes is good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Okay. Nice meeting
Yeah, and
you.
goodbye is adios.
Adios. Adios. It's lovely to
Exactly.
meet you. I look forward to getting some more information, some more material from you. Thanks. Take care now. Bye. Bye bye. Well, there you go. That was, I always say, there you go. I always say, there you go. What a great, interesting guy. I'm really looking forward to his show. I don't know about you, but I am. I want to find out about all these incredible characters, Marvel characters that nobody knows about, like Moon Knight. I'm looking forward to that. Moon Knight. Right, what's happened here to our battery? The battery isn't charging for some reason again. Moon Knight. Well, that's because it's not connected. Sometimes there is a simple little solution. Anyway, guys, if you're on here, I'm going to go off. Wish me luck for tomorrow. I've got a big phone call tomorrow. I think people know that. Battery's going on Instagram. So if you haven't seen the show, How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World, I'm going to finish this because it's gone off anyway. If you haven't seen it yet, then interview. I won't go on. There's no memory on this phone. Um, if you haven't seen the show, How to Stay Sane in the Crazy World, Cara, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm going to put it on now. It's a live show of me explaining the BPDs. It's called Me and My BPDs. It explains the BPDs, all the different characters, who they are, what they are, the Whinger, the Martyr, Edith Piaf, Maria Callas, all of the different characters that create this condition called borderline personality disorder that I have proven is not a mental illness. And if you watch the show till the end, you will see more and more proof. And I hope it really, really helps you. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up after I put on the new promo. So I hope you enjoy the new promo. Come on board, Moving On TV, guys. I'm going to meditate. I've got a difficult day tomorrow. I've got a big phone call tomorrow, as people know. If you came on before, please send me your prayers and your love that me and the cats are protected tomorrow. That's all I ask. Hey guys, welcome to Moving On TV. My name is Laurene Hope Glory. I'm the proud CEO of Moving On TV. As you can see, I've got the new logo in the background. You can just about see it. Moving On TV Mental Health. As you can see, there's a little TV inside the star. So now exactly what we are. We're Moving On TV Mental Health. I think it's just moved my arm. Moving On TV Mental Health. And you've got the little star, little TV inside the star, because we are a TV station. We are a TV station. And we're here to present to you a new TV station, bringing the hope and glory back into your lives. A TV station based on love, based on compassion, based on your talents and your skills. So you don't need to go anywhere. A positive TV station that keeps you sane on a daily basis to the best of our abilities. We hope you can join us on Moving On TV. We hope you can become part of the new world and the light that we are projecting. Take care, lots of love. My name is Laurene Hope Glory. I'm the proud CEO. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye. for another. Every race and creed and color, just close your eyes. Wrong. What's the time?
29 minutes past.
Okay. So you'll need to keep an eye out, see if anyone's coming.
Alright.
Okay, so we'll start. Well, you need to keep, as I say, keep an eye out, Martin, just for another on and off for the next half hour. You know how people can be.
Yeah.
They'll just come in the middle. I'm starting at half 7. Okay. And you might want to do some zooming as we go along, but not at the moment. Let's see everything. Okay? You can feel the magic start. I wish you best, and it's right here in my heart. Good evening, everyone. My name is Laurene Hope, and welcome to How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World. Now, the reason I started with I Wish You Peace, which is a song I wrote about peace in the world, is because in order to have peace in the world, we need to have peace in the heart. Okay, so you need to have peace in the heart first. Now, I was going to call this show Me and My BPDs. BPD being borderline personality disorder, which is the condition that I have got and I was diagnosed with. Me and My BPDs, because of course I'm narcissistic and the me had to become before the BPDs. But then I decided after a bit of thought that maybe I should call it How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World, because it's much more straightforward and everyone will understand what I'm trying to talk about. So there you go. So, in order to explain to you a little bit more about BPD, borderline personality disorder, and my journey, which I'm going to tell you about in this show, I have to unravel back to about 10 years to my diagnosis. Okay, so I was diagnosed in 2010. My mother had died. I was having huge rage attacks, serious menopause. Really, really distressed all the time. I'd been thrown in a cell because I had a panic attack on the street and the police threw me in a cell. I thought I was going to kill myself, so they took away all my rings. This is not a joke, this is all true. I was so innocent, I didn't know what they meant, you know. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the doctor's office and this is how it goes. So doctor, can you explain to me please about this condition, BPD, borderline personality disorder? Can you tell me what it is and what it isn't? Well, he said, well, this is what you've got. You've got BPD, or borderline personality disorder. He said, the way I can explain it to you is basically, remember when you used to go to Woolworths and you'd get sweets and chocolates and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of whatever? That's the condition you've got. It's a complex needs disorder, BPD. And I thought, what, you're joking? That's what's wrong with me? He said, yeah, you've got a little bit of this, a little bit of paranoia, a little bit of depression, a little bit whatever. I said, come on, you're joking. Couldn't I have just had straightforward bipolar? Now, I know this isn't funny. I know it's not funny, bipolar is not funny, but I have got a trait of bipolar too. So anyway, so I'm saying to him, well, I haven't got a chance in hell, doctor. I'm a woman, I'm an Irish Jew, I'm a Leo, and I'm a creative artist. What chance have I got? No chance in hell. So he said, well, yeah, that's it. So in order to make it a little bit easier for you to understand, I've written a little song, okay? And we're going to try and sing it together. This will give you a general idea of what BPD is. Okay? So it's quite easy. You can try and stick along with me.
I'm a bad singer.
A little bit of acrophobia, a little bit of OCD, a little bit of claustrophobia, that's BPD. A little or a lot of depression, laced with it's all about me, narcissism. A cloak of Tourette's. Now what comes next? That's BPD. See, you're learning it. A little bit of autism, a little bit of AD or ADHD, a touch of paranoia. You're looking at me. That's BPD. Let's add in schizoid tendencies and make it all about me. Yes, narcissism. A spoon of manic states, got a lot of plates with a monkey brain that I cannot train.
That's BPD. It's all about me. I'm PTSD. Forgot that one. You still here? That's BPD. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that's what BPD is, and that's what basically something I was given this condition, BPD, borderline personality disorder or a complex needs disorder. So let me tell you a little bit about this condition, a little bit of how it manifests, and for me being an actress, it's incredible because I can use it in all my characters. So in order to put across some of the characteristics of BPD, and quite honestly all of you have got it. Everyone's got a whingy grandmother, a martyr, an unhappy character that they've been brought up with certain belief systems. Everyone's got it in them. But the thing is, when it goes out of control, usually when you're very stressed, when you've had a lot of grief, and that's where it goes out of control. So I'm just going to introduce you to a couple of the characters here that I was manifesting. So the first one, we're going to call her Bpd Berks. Now, I'm Jewish, and Baba is a Jewish grandmother. And so Bpd Berks was my Jewish grandmother. And she used to walk around. This was in Israel. We were in Israel. We grew up in Israel. Oh my God, I ate everything. And she'd get out this thing with, you know, for the mosquitoes. And she'd be going, kill them all! Kill them all! That's my grandmother. Try to kill the mosquitoes. And oh, why won't they die? And it's too hot. And it's too hot and it's too cold. And oh my God, the whinger. The whinger. That's the whinger. And then she tried to twirl her dial. And she'd go, why can't I find the archers on here? Come on, dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. And I said, you feel so sorry for the poor lady. And I'm trying to say to her, Baba, we're in Israel, in 90 degrees heat, on a kibbutz in the middle of nowhere. You're not going to get the archers. And the poor woman is whinging and whinging. Anyway, I took on Bpd Berks, the whinger. So you kick the cat, metaphorically. I love my cats. And you're so angry in the morning, everything's wrong. As I say, you're too hot, you're too cold. That's one character, Bpd Berks. Now the next one we've had the whinger, is the martyr. Now the martyr. First of all, I'm sure you got a whinger in the family. Are you a whinger?
Yeah, I'm not a whinger. I'm not a whinger.
Okay.
I'm probably, without going into too much, I'm probably quite a lot of them. For various different reasons.
Okay. But everyone's got one that goes around complaining about everything. Everything. It's like, you know. But the martyr, now the martyr is really interesting. The martyr is the poor person takes everything on all the time. They do the cooking, they look after the children, they do the driving, they do the sweeping, they do the printing, they do the designing, they do everything. And they never ever say there's anything wrong. Because they're martyrs. And in the minute that they suddenly, boom, they blow up. My mother was a martyr. She never complained until suddenly she'd just blow up. But she would do everything for everyone. So that's another trait of BPD. And again, I'm sure you've all got martyrs. So what I'm trying to say, if you notice these traits, wake up before you need to go to a doctor and get a diagnosis. We don't want that. And now the third one that manifested very, very deeply in me was the peacemaker. The peacemaker, the interfaith peacemaker that went around to write songs about peace, to bring all the children together, full of love. As I say, it's good to be an actor because you can use it. And there I was, this peacemaker, and I remember going to see a Marianne Williamson concert once, who does a lot of work, of course, in Miracles and about peace. And I sang a song about peace, and then I stood up and I said, we have to create peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. We have to make it happen. And she looked at me and she said, Lauren, to be a peacemaker, you cannot be aggressive. And it reminded me of what Mother Teresa said as well. Invite me to a march about peace and not war. Not to stop wars, but about peace. You know, so there I was going out trying to make peace. Well, I had no peace whatsoever. So those were the main characteristics. It's getting hot now. Oh, better not go into the whinger. She's too hot. Woo! It's too hot. Anyway. So coming back into balance. That's what it's all about. When I came out of the community in 2012, I was able to go out there and make a film with 1,000 children about peace. which is on the internet, because I had it. I had the peace and I had the calm and everything fit together. So anyway, so we've looked at some of the personalities, we've talked about the peacemaker. So anyway, going back to what happened, so I'm still at the doctor's office, I'm back at the doctor's office, and he says, okay, then what are we going to do? You're going to see a psychiatrist, and I went to see a psychiatrist, and will you take this? No, I will not take medication. I refuse. I will not take medication. I've never taken it. I don't believe it's right for me. Okay then, so why they suggested something, and I was so lucky, and this was where all the miracles started to happen. They said to me something I'd never heard before. If you won't take medication, how about you go into a therapeutic community? You go in 3 days a week, so you basically have to give your life up. There's another one, you can go in a quarter of a day a week, but you're completely insane. You're a total loony bin, so we need you to go in 3 days a week. They more or less did say that, you know, completely off your rocker. So a quarter a day a week isn't going to do for you. So why don't you go into a therapeutic community? I thought, well, yeah, what choice have I got? You know, I'm going insane. I'll be thrown in a mental institution and drugged up to my eyeballs, so what have I got to lose? So I went into the therapeutic community. Now, before you go into the therapeutic community, you have to go through something called the Getting Ready group. And I was in there for nearly 2 years because I just wasn't ready to go into the community. Because I knew everything. I was a know-all. That's another big personality of mine. And I couldn't shut up because this Tourette thing, I had to say everything that came into my mind, everything. So someone said to me, well, if you really want to get into the community and move on with your life, Lauren, why don't you act? I shouldn't say this, they didn't know. So I put on an act and I became really gentle and nice and I started listening. And within a month, they nominated me. So I go in front of the committee and I go into the community. Now I thought it was going to be amazing. I thought it was going to be the best time of my life. I was going to make friends and get a 24-hour support system and family, all the good stuff. It was the worst nightmare of my life. It was a nightmare. I mean, being a Jew, it was my own personal Holocaust. It was horrendous because I'm not sugarcoating it. Because if you stay for half an hour, you'll find out what came from all of this. I've always asked people, don't go yet. But just to say, the therapeutic community is hard work. It's probably harder than taking medication. It was horrendous. Basically, we all go in with what we know. We're all mentally ill, and we all got different beliefs. And you're all clashing with your beliefs, and guess who clashed the most? Not only that, I was older and I didn't have children, so I couldn't bond. And I was older, so I think I represented to a lot of people things they didn't want to deal with. I had a nightmare of a journey. It was so hard. I mean, I was so strongly believed, I believed so strongly in natural medicine that one day I dared to come into the community with a book about healing. And at the end of the day, we all got together and we talk about how our experiences were and if anything needed to be highlighted. Now this guy used to follow me because he was an elder. He used to follow me all day, watching me. I'm not joking, and that wasn't paranoia, this was true. Trying to catch me up, and he said in front of everyone, Lauren has been reading this book about healing. I was like, oh my God, you mustn't do that. And they tried to discharge me so many times because every time it was just so many things that I did that they didn't like. You're not allowed to have natural medicine, you're not allowed to talk about natural medicine in there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. No medication, which I was really happy about. I didn't need to be weaned off of it, so I already had an edge, but it was a very, very difficult journey. And they tried to get rid of me about 4 times, as I say. It was so hard. But anyway, some of the things in there, I'm going to get to the best bit in a minute, some of the things in there were incredible. Not only the amazing 24-hour support system, so you get someone at the end of the phone nearly 24 hours a day, and they can carry you just enough, you know. And the beauty of people with mental illness is they have massive big hearts. And people don't know that. They get this awful stigma, we get an awful stigma, but they would do anything for anyone. Their hearts are so big. So when you become the person that needs the help, they will do anything for you. They're there for you. So suddenly they stop bullying you because you're asking for help. And so the support system was amazing. And one of the best things was the bell. The bell was just an incredible experience. So the bell, basically, you're not going to find this anywhere else in life. So again, we're all people that come into the community, and all of us are a product of physical, sexual, emotional abuse, all of us, every single one of us. And that was something that kept us, actually did bond us, because every single one of us had that. And no one's validated. So none of us have ever been able to say what they really feel. They've never been taken seriously. They've come from homes where no one listened. So the bell is incredible. So the minute you feel a little bit down, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, the whole of the community, all the staff and everyone drop everything they're doing and they come and sit around you. Can I help you? It's just incredible. Can I help you? And it's like, well, I don't feel very well, I've been triggered or whatever. Okay, would you like a cup of tea? Would you like to do this? With me was, go and do the washing up. We need to keep you grounded. A lot of the time, was get going, you know, do something with your hands. It helps a lot, you know, keep you grounded. And the bell was just so incredible. I used to ring the bell all day, all day. That's why they hated me. I became literally, I was determined to sort myself out. And so I took every second I could of therapy. I continuously rang the bell. And coupled with the fact that people didn't identify with me in a lot of ways, I got a lot of flack and I got a huge amount of tough love. But it did the trick. And that's where I'm going to come now to the pinnacle of my story, because I had a massive, massive awakening in the community. So anyway, there I am, getting all this tough love. And they tried to discharge me about 4 times, sorry. And then this woman came in and she started asking questions. She was my age and she said, why are you bullying Laurene? And everybody got on with her. So it was interesting because she actually put them on the spot. And anyway, I got to the 4th discharge and I kind of sat there and everyone, apart from her, had put me up for discharge again. And I thought, well, I remember sitting there shaking and thinking, if they discharge me, I'm finished. I'm finished because I've only got 10 months to go. I'm already more than halfway there. Please don't let this happen. I was so, it just couldn't have happened. Anyway, they didn't. They didn't. By the grace of God, something kept me there. Something kept me there, mainly the staff. I went home that night and I started thinking to myself, there must be a reason why they hate me. There must, you know, it's like I'm doing everything I can to, I'm not a bad person, except I say something and everyone runs out crying. And then they said to me, but Laurene, you come in and you throw all your bombs from Israel and everyone runs out. But that's how I grew up. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know anything else. So no one ever taught me. So I started to think about it. And then that night, I had a massive night terror. Massive, one of the biggest ones I've ever had. And I grabbed hold of my husband and I said, don't let me go back. And that was it. And suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head and I realised that I had asked my mum and dad not to send me back to the person who was molesting me. He was a family dentist and he was molesting me. And I had asked my mum and dad not to send me back. Now the minute that light bulb went off, I knew it wasn't my fault. And therefore everything disappeared. I had total 100% inner peace from that moment on. I didn't even know that I was holding this inside. I didn't even know that that I was blaming myself for my childhood. Went completely. I went back the next day and I said to them, you're going to see a different Laurene. I'm so grateful you've kept me here. You say I don't listen? Okay, I'll listen. They thought I was messing. They thought I was messing with them. And the interesting thing is that a lot of people left because they couldn't wind me up anymore. And they left. It was like magic. And those people that stayed, it started to turn around. And they started to sit with me and they said, I can feel this peace around you. And we used to have a review every month, and every month it got nicer and nicer. The first one, like, it was, oh, Laurene is just so selfish and narcissistic, and she's eccentric, and I can't stand her, boom, boom, boom. She should be discharged. Then it became, oh, Laurene's quite funny. I think she's funny. then, oh, I like sitting beside Laurene. And then before I left, I turned the whole thing around. I had a standing ovation at the end of my 18 months because they'd never seen anything like it. They'd never seen such a transformation of what I'd gone in, the way I'd gone in, and the way I'd left. And so I came out, 2012, bright as a button, pure, waiting to get back into life, into this incredible new world that I wanted to get back into, full of innocence and thinking everything was going to be fantastic. And for quite a while it was. I started moving on theatre, which was my theatre company, and I started touring as Bonjour everyone, how are you today? My name is Edith Piaf. And I hope you're doing alright. I haven't got any whiskey on me, I'm really sorry. So you're gonna have to hear me sing a song instead. But Laurene toured as me all over the country. In 2014 she sold out Edinburgh with the show Love Conquers All, which is the life story of me, Edith Piaf. My ups and downs, my ins and outs. Basically she did the breakdowns on the stage instead of in life. So here is one of my most famous songs that you all probably know, I hope. Avec leur trémolo, balayé à toujours, j'irai pas zéro. No, no regret. No, I have no regret. All the past is just gone. Life is good. So that was Piaf, and so that was Piaf. Anyway, I toured as Edith Piaf, and then I hit another dark night of the soul, as they call it. Everything was beautiful, everything went beautifully well till 2016. I learned all these healing techniques, I was able to get myself out of panic, I was on the stage, I was doing the breakdowns on the stage, and then my father died, my family cut me off, I broke my leg and ended up in a wheelchair for 4 months. So a real dark night of the soul, very serious dark night of the soul. I forgot to say that in 2014 as well, after Edinburgh, I tried to get on the media because I'd sold out Piaf walking on the streets. I sold out every single night and they wouldn't put me on. So I started my own TV station called Moving On TV because I thought, well, if I can't get on the media, I'll create my own. So that's something that I did pick up when I was in the wheelchair and I was able to do, you know, more work with the TV station. So Anyway, 2016, big dark night of the soul. Suddenly, overnight, boom, no dad, no family, and I'm in a wheelchair. Overnight, I fell, I had a serious accident, didn't know what to do with myself, and that was really, really difficult. Because just before that, I had been given a 5-star review at the Brighton Fringe for my Piaf show. And so that was in May, when Dad died, and I had all of this to look forward to, and moving on and doing new shows, and boom, everything stopped. Everything stopped. Now, just going back a little bit, because while I was in Brighton, I also released another show, because I felt that Piaf was only one type of voice that I have, and because I'm a trained soprano, a classical singer, I thought, well, why don't we do Maria Callas, the opera singer? And so I started to perform as Maria Callas, and I started to do a show called Two Divas in One, Piaf and Callas. Now this is a song from the show, which you all know, where Callas, I perform her from the age of 10, from when she's a very little girl and the wars and everything. And this is a song where she's trying to tell her father, ask her father to support her in life, and it's very, very touching. Oh mio bambino caro, mi piace vero, andare in Porta Rossa a comprare l'anello. Sì, sì, voglio andare, e se l'amma sentando, andesse Ponte Vecchio, ma se l'amma sentando, distrae tormento, oh Dio, morì. Babbo pietà, pietà, Babbo pietà, pietà. Thank you. That's the life story. Now that's Piaf. Sometimes the personalities jump and get confused, mixed up with each other. So that was the show Maria, and I actually debuted that show in Brighton. My dad had died, we went over to the funeral, came back and debuted the show Maria. And it's a beautiful show, it's about her life and her song and her music. But coming back to what I was saying, so 2016, basically, I couldn't do any shows anymore. So I basically was stuck in the house with a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, and my life kind of came to a halt in a way. But one day I woke up in that wheelchair, and I remembered my awakening in the therapeutic community. I remembered everything that I've been through in life, and in some way I felt like my dad had a very strong spirit as well, and it kind of entered here. And I thought, you know what, I may never walk again. But if I never walk again, I am going to do what I love. No one is going to stop me. And I've done a hell of a lot since I got out of that wheelchair. I put my mind to it, and I got out of the wheelchair this year. I'm walking. I don't know if I'll dance again, but I'm walking. I've started a new show. And I'm putting a lot of emphasis into Moving On TV, which is my TV station for positivity and happy news. Because the other thing that came to me was I want to cheer people up. I want to make people happy. But coming back, and I mean, I've done a lot. I've been to America twice. I've been on World's Most Amazing People. I'm going in a book. My whole story of recovery is going in a book next year in America. I've just sang America the Beautiful for someone who's doing a book launch in America. America seems to be quite open to my ideas, and I've been interviewed on World's Most Amazing People quite a lot of times by Casey Armstrong about my recovery from Bpd. And but anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is to draw this to a conclusion is the things that are keeping me sane. I put them actually into a pack of cards. I thought I've got to give out this message in some way. The message of recovery is so important. And I have a lot to tell. I have a lot to teach. And obviously the most important thing is creativity. And there's the accordion and the piano. And I'll play another piece of the accordion just before we finish, because I've been playing the accordion since I was 6 years old. I started playing the accordion and I started singing at the age of 13 as one of the lead soloists in the Children's National Choir. Now, to me, the answer with mental health or BPD or this complex needs disorder is you have to have tools. You know, you have to have tools, and one of them is creativity. If you've got talent and you can't use your talent, and that's what happened to me, it stops. I don't let anything stop me now. I just go out there and do my best to get to use my talents. But if you don't use your creativity, if that stops, then you're not breathing. A creative person, breathing and creating is the same. An artist needs to paint. A singer needs to sing. A musician needs to play an instrument. You've got to find a way, because if not, you'll get a diagnosis. You'll get BPD, or you'll get depression, or you'll get something. So the most important thing to me is creativity. Everything's in these cards, how to stay sane in a crazy world. I'm going to ask you to choose a card in a minute. But the other things which I know are so important is don't get too lonely. Loneliness is a killer. It's a killer. And when I was in that wheelchair and I could not drive, friends dropped like flies when you're in a wheelchair. They disappear. Martin, my husband and my cat stuck around. The loneliness, we don't have kids, you know, and it was unbearable. So loneliness is a killer. And I think one of the reasons people are being diagnosed right, left and centre is because of loneliness, because they don't have communities, they don't have families, and so the depression comes in, and then after that you get mental illness or whatever this condition is. And again, I'm doing this show, I'm putting it out, my belief systems as well, is deep down inside, from what I've seen in the last, since 2010, since I got diagnosed, so we're talking about 7 years now, I don't believe that BPD is a real mental illness. I don't believe it. And I may be putting my head on the block here, but, you know, this is my personal opinion, and I'm able to bring a lot of evidence, and this is another reason why I'm doing the show, is there is so many people out there. I know in particularly cases of women who had postnatal depression, and they went to their doctor and they got diagnosed with a mental illness. Now, it's not a mental illness, they just had a baby. Now, in the old days, they get post-traumatic stress. Postnatal depression. Postnatal depression. But no, and then they go to see a herbalist, they do blood tests, and they find out that they're lacking in vitamins and minerals. They give them back the vitamin and minerals, guess what happens? All the symptoms disappear. You put me on the stage, and I'm on the stage performing, all the symptoms disappear. You do the breakdowns on the stage, you don't need to do them in real life. There is more, there's more. I have done so much research, and that's why, hand on heart, this show is going out to tell people that I do not believe that it's a real mental illness. It's a complex needs disorder, and I'm grateful that they call it complex needs disorder. But it cannot be medicated. It's impossible to medicate every single condition that's out there. And you're all walking around with it. Everyone's got a bit of OCD, a bit of paranoia. We live in a crazy world. That's what statistics say, in a crazy world. We live in a crazy world. And it's about bringing it back into balance in any way you can. Whether it's meditation, using your talents, using mindfulness. And yeah, a little bit of medication, yeah, I'm saying it's fine, you know. But you know what? There are people that are on 52 tablets a day. How can that be? I mean, 20 years ago, you go to your doctor and he'd give you a tablet. How have we got to such a level in our world that people are on 52 tablets a day? What's happened to us? I'm here to inspire and to wake up people. Look at me. I've never taken a tablet in my life and I never will. I'd rather die than be medicated now for this condition. And I will always find a way to get past it, always. I'll find a way. And for me, this is the answer. For me is going out there and talking and promoting and singing and producing shows and producing my TV shows and everything. Using my creativity. And there is even more evidence that BPD is not a real condition. And I'm going to give you another little story before we end. Because I kind of done my research, and I'm doing my research all the time. Because I was stigmatized to the point where we couldn't adopt. I was so stigmatized that they didn't allow us to adopt. And I was so well, and it broke my heart. Not to mention that you can't work. A lot of people can't work anymore. So I'm here to get rid of that stigma and say to you that 1 in 10 women that have been diagnosed with BPD, particularly women, are womb twin survivors. And anyone can find that on Google. What it means is that they lost a sibling in the womb, and I'm one of them. I never knew this until I actually did some self-hypnosis, and I was crying my eyes out for the loss of my brother. Now, womb twin survivor is exactly the same symptoms as borderline personality disorder, the eating problems, the abandonment issues, change. You know, we've got to move soon and I can't cope with it. Change from one room to another. Any kind of change is a trigger. So I found all of this out. And this is all going in the book Simply Amazing, which is coming out next year in America. But in my shows, that's what I'm telling you. And as I say, I'm willing to say this is how I feel. BPD is not a real mental illness. It cannot be medicated the way it's been medicated. You need to give people communities. You need to give them therapy, proper therapy, and it's post-traumatic stress. We've all been shocked, and those of us that have been shocked more than others, I grew up in wars and terrorism and was molested. Those of us that were more shocked, and oh, there's one more thing. There's one more thing I nearly forgot. HSP. Have you heard of HSP? No. Another one. Okay, a huge amount of research has been done. There's books that have been written, and there are groups that meet regularly in Cookham now, and they're going to be meeting all over the place. Highly sensitive people. The same, exactly the same symptoms as BPD. So what's going on here? Why is every second person being given a stigma? Now, I'm grateful I was given this BPD because I went into the therapeutic community. And it completely changed my life. I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be able to go through what I'm still going through with grief and loss and family and moving. And it's not easy, but I'm still here. I'm still here, and I'm still sitting here talking like a sane human being. And if it wasn't for the therapeutic community, I wouldn't be here. But there's a problem with there's nothing when you leave. So things need to change. There's nothing when you leave. There's no support system. When you leave, you're just thrown back into life again. So there's a lot of things that need to be looked at. But as I said, this show is to enlighten. I want people to come. Anyone who thinks they may have a condition, they may have this condition, then please come and see the show. Please listen to what I've got to say. Doctors, mental health professionals, I know there's loads of people out there that really want to learn and know that something's not right here. We need communities. We need to treat people as unique people, unique beings. So before we end, I'm going to ask you to pick a card from How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World. And these are the tools that I put into the cards, and they can be purchased at the end if you want as well. And do you want to tell me what you chose?
We can share.
Shall I read it?
It's Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Today you are going to see everyone as a mirror. When I was recovering, people said very hurtful things to me. As I got well, I realised they were either mirrors reflecting myself in some way back, or teachers. Today I would like you to decide who are your mirrors, who is reflecting your behaviour, your fear or your anger back to you. This will give you such power to be grateful to them. My mirrors showed me my biggest fear. What do yours show you? I became sane because of these tools. Practice and so you will have more peace. Good luck.
Well done. You just reminded me, thank you, Alex. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Once I recovered, once I had my massive recovery in the therapeutic community, I realised that everyone was my mirror or my teacher. So when someone actually said to me, just going diversifying back to the therapeutic community, which is what a lot of this is about, which is free on the NHS, by the way. Completely free on the NHS. See, you didn't know that either. This is a travesty of justice. People need to know. Basically, when someone said to me, I'm going to tear your head off, when I said, you've got lovely makeup. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like being in prison. I was so innocent, said, you look nice today. How dare you? How dare you? That really, really pisses me off. Why are you doing this on purpose, Lauren? Seriously, this is what I got. I suddenly realised, hang on a second, that's my rage. She's just showing me my rage. And I watched people that were very extreme. Like, for example, when we went shopping, I was dairy-free. I wanted to be dairy-free because it was really good for me. And I said, can we have some feta cheese? And this woman was so stuck and she couldn't deal with it. No, it's got to be yellow cheese. And she brought it into the community and we had to discuss it with everyone. Why does Lauren have to have something different to everybody else? And I looked at her and I thought, my God, I do that. I do that black and white thing. I do that. My God, if I can't get that, then there's no bit in the middle. But we'd all sit down together and we talk about it, like we discuss that side and that side. And to me, that's the answer. You have to find the bit in the middle. And that, of course, is Buddhism. So basically, we're coming to the end of the show now. And to end it, I'm going to play another song on the accordion. Because I've been playing the accordion since, as I say, since I was 6 years old. And my grandfather used to play, he was a Russian Jew, and he used to play the accordion and the violin, and he used to tour. So you have to forgive this accordion, I'm getting a new one, but there's some of the notes are not playing anymore. But this is Chardash, and it's for my dad. playing anymore.
That's cool.
I've just bought a new accordion, but that's Chardash. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to How to Stay Sane in a Crazy World. And I hope you enjoyed the informative evening and what I have to say. And the cards are available, and we do questions and answers now. So if you've got any questions, I can try and answer them for you. Apart from the fact, as I say, that some of the keys are not playing on the accordion. I've just ordered a new one. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's the time on? So,
That's 20 past 8, as good as.
oh, it's
15
about an hour.
About,
Great. So yeah, if you've got any questions, Alex, and this is now like a forum
Okay.
where I answer questions.
Like a seminar almost.
yeah, I suppose really, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Moving On TV. My name is Laurene Glory. I'm the proud CEO of Moving On TV. As you can see, I've got the new logo in the background. You can just about see it. Moving On TV Mental Health. As you can see, there's a little TV inside the star. So now exactly what we are. We're Moving On TV Mental Health. I think it's just moved my arm. Moving On TV Mental Health. And you've got the little star, little TV inside the star, because we are a TV station. We are a TV station, and we're here to present to you a new TV station, bringing the hope and glory back into your lives. A TV station based on love, based on compassion, based on your talents and your skills. So you don't need to go anywhere. A positive TV station that keeps you sane on a daily basis to the best of our abilities. We hope you can join us on Moving On TV. We hope you can become part of the new world and the light that we are projecting. Take care, lots of love. My name is Laurene Hope Glory. I'm the proud CEO. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye.
Guys, welcome to Moving On TV and welcome to the community show. We're back and we're back with extraordinary people that have got wonderful stories, and today I've got one of them, a unique man, Pete Lang. Hi Pete, sorry to have you today.
Pleasure.
Thank you for being here. Now first of all, you come from America?
Yes, I was born and raised in the United States, and New York, born and raised in New York City. And when I went away to university, I went to the southern part of the United States, and now I consider North Carolina my home.
Okay, so as you can see, I've got the New York hat on, which is apt for Pete. So go on, so tell me a little bit, how long have you been in the UK?
I've been here for 4 years, and I work for the largest tobacco company in the world. Okay. All right, which is a place called Alliance One, and they are a wholesaler. So they buy it from the farmers, and then they sell it to the people who make cigarettes and whatnot. Okay. All right. And so my job is to keep all the computer systems that run all the factories that deal with all this tobacco in Europe and Africa.
Wow, interesting.
So the company headquarters is in the United States, and I've had the opportunity to go to Africa a number of times, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place, and the job opportunity came up to kind of take care of Africa, and I jumped on it. That's how I'm here.
Wow. Well, one of the reasons I've got you on Moving On TV, because everyone who comes on to Moving On TV is positive, is unique, is doing something to make the world a better place. Now, I know Pete from Unity UK and Maidenhead, where we spread positive messages and sing and do all sorts of great stuff together. So tell me a little bit more about what you're doing with Africa, because that is a very inspiring thing.
Well, first time I was in Africa was with the Army, all right, and I was in Special Forces. I was a medic, and during the first Gulf War, the Americans pretty much trashed out the air base in Mombasa in Kenya, and then they just left, all right. So the Kenyans were not very happy with the Americans, and the Americans wanted to make nice. So they said, "Look, we'll rebuild your runway. We will send over a set of trainers," which was a Special Forces unit that was attached to go ahead and train a Special Forces unit for you, and which is parachuting. And then we'll also send over a medical team to go out to the desert and take care of people who haven't seen a doctor in a long time. Right. So there
So
was.
that's how you're basically contributing
That's
by
right.
making sure that they get a medical team.
Well,
taken care of.
and actually, you know, here's the thing about it. We had one medic, we had two doctors, a vet, and a dentist. All right.
Okay.
And of all those, I would say the dentist and the vet were the most valuable.
Okay.
All right, because you know you've been to the doctor. You know, you go and you know they write down what's wrong with you, and they say, all right, come back in 3 weeks, and then we'll look at it again. Well, in this situation, these people are never going to be seen by that doctor again. All right. What they can do is pretty limited. Whereas the dentist, if somebody has, usually what we ended up doing is pulling teeth. All right. Somebody's got a tooth that hurts and you pull it out, you have done them some good.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
And then with the animals, what we would do is we would inoculate them and deworm them. And that sounds kind of gross, I guess.
Yeah.
But what happened was all of the nutrition that was going to the worms was now being produced into meat and to milk that the families of the local villagers could consume. And when they heard that the Americans were coming and they were bringing, you know, medicine for the animals, I mean, we'd come to a village and there'd be thousands of people there.
Right. Okay, so that's a bit of background news. Now, you're also very involved in Unity. Unity, as I say, is a very positive group, and that meets to promote abundance and healing and health and everything. But is it okay if I ask you a little bit about your story? Because I know you've been through a lot.
Yes.
You've been through a lot in life. I don't know enough about it, but I know you've
That's
been
okay.
through a lot in life, and yet you're very positive, very bubbly, very loving, very giving human beings. So do you mind telling us just a little bit about your personal history?
Well, I grew up a white kid in a Puerto Rican black neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in the hood. All right.
We got someone from the hood on Moving On TV and
That's right.
Radio.
That's right. That's right. A matter of fact, what's the name of that rap group? You know, there's a Christmas rap song about, you know, Christmas in Hollis, Queens.
Oh, don't ask me.
All right.
I don't know
Well.
anything about rap.
All right.
So anyways,
but be
tell
as
me
it
more.
may, be more as a house is where I live, and I didn't enjoy that very much. You know, most people tend to like wherever it was that they grew up is, you know, this is home. I never felt that way about New York.
Okay, so you
And
left.
so I left there and I went to school in Kentucky, all right, at the University of Kentucky. And there isn't anything analogous to the feeling between the North and the South in the United States, in England. Closest thing might be Scotland and England, all right?
Okay.
In terms of, you know, we had, you know, they've had civil wars here, and we had a civil war in the United States, and the South lost, and they're still pretty angry about it. 150
Okay.
years later, you know,
Okay.
and so I was from the North,
Right.
and they reminded me every day that I was from the North,
Right.
and that I really didn't belong there. So, but you know, made it through, and when I was a little kid, I decided I wanted to be a Green Beret. And then when the time came to graduate university, I went to a recruiter and said, "Yeah, can you make me a Green Beret?" And he said, "Yes, I can." And sign right here. And as it turned out, normally you have to be on your second enlistment, you have to have done all these things, but they were hard up for people. So they would take anybody, you know, that maxed out the entrance exams for the Army and was in
Okay.
good health, which fortunately I managed to do. So after college, I went into Special Forces, and then after that, you know, became a computer guy. All right, and you know, I've taught at all different levels. You know,
Okay.
6th grade. What would they call 6th grade? I'm not exactly sure what it would be called here in Britain.
So sorry to stop you there, Pete.
Yeah.
So you came to the UK.
Yes.
But you went through some stuff in the UK, didn't you, with your children? Is that right?
Oh well. The other thing I had two daughters. One passed on before I came to the UK. All right. She got to as was what they call them in the U.S. a one-car wreck, which means you did something stupid and you wrecked your own car, and it killed her instantly. And then my younger daughter, you know, when she graduated from university, you know, I promised her a trip wherever she wanted to go. She said, "I want to go to England." So when and as I was here, we spent 2 weeks cruising around, saw Shakespeare lived, and the ocean, and in Wales. We went all over the place.
So you came to England with your daughter and
Came with my wife.
with your wife?
Yes. I don't mean to sound like I've got an overly complex story, but
No, but we want to hear this because you're such a positive.
I came over with my wife, and then life was pretty good. You know, we had our little place, and we had our way of life. And then my wife is Lebanese, and it is the duty of a Lebanese senior daughter to take care of her mother in her old age when she gets ill. So mom got real sick one time, and my wife Nasia felt very, very guilty about it. But she didn't say anything to me, but she felt very, very guilty. So finally I said to her, "Girl, go back to the States. Okay. All right, you know, I can live here by myself for the rest of my contract, which was at that point was 2.5 years. Now it's 11 months. I can take care of myself. All right, go take care of your mom." All right, so she did. So I've been here for the most part by myself, you know, and the people at Unity have been as close as I get to family and friends.
That's fantastic. So, you see, this is what I want to put across in Moving on TV is, it's awful. I can't even imagine how it must feel to lose your child. But from the time I've known you, Pete, you are one of the most positive, enlightened, giving human beings that I know. So people are going through a lot these days, and one of the reasons that's why I wanted to bring you on to Moving on TV, because I want you to be able to say to people, how do you do it? How do you manage to rise above grief and the stuff that you've gone through, the pain, and carry on being such a lovely human being and a giving human being as well?
Well, because it's the best option. Right. All right, you know, anyone could find a good reason to be upset about the way life has treated them. All right, very, very few people, you know, have had perfect lives. All right, so I'm certainly not one. So I made a very, very painful thing happen, and we don't need to go into the details of it right now. And one of the places that I use as inspiration is the movie Gandhi. If you've never seen it,
yes.
I strongly recommend it. And in the early bits of the movie, when he was still in South Africa, you know, a white punk knocks him into the street, all right? And so his minions brush him off, and they're outraged at this, and they ask Gandhi, "Well, what are we going to do?" He says, "I'm going to forgive him." "What? Forgive him after he's done this outrage to you?" And he said, "Look, all right, I'm not forgiving him for him. I am forgiving him for me, so that I don't think about it, I don't worry about it, and I can move on to bigger and better things." And at that point in time, that really helped me in a very, very difficult situation, and it is kind of one of the foundations of that I go through life of, you know, what's the point of being angry and upset and hurtful? How can I take this and make something positive out of it? And so when my daughter passed, you know, I committed my life to trying to make the world a better place. All right.
So inspiring.
And
so inspiring.
the cool thing I've discovered, and I'll share with your folks, is that making the world a better place doesn't have to be a big thing. All right. So, in other words, smiling at somebody the day that they are having a horrible day and considering suicide, and you happen to smile at them that day, and they say, well, you know, if that person smiled at me, maybe I'm not that terrible. Maybe I can go on another day. And that's all it took. All right. Now, quite frankly, I imagine that could have happened. I'll never know.
But you're trying.
But I'm
Doing
trying.
something.
I'm trying. You know,
You're-
every person I meet, automatically, how can I put a smile on this person's face?
That's amazing. So we're going to take a break there, Pete, because
Sure.
we do need to have some adverts.
Okay.
But when we come back, we're going to talk to Pete more about this positivity and how you can do like small things a day to help yourself and to help others.
How would you get someone that's actually in intense pain, that it's hard for them to even sit and think that they could ask their pain in? How are you going to do it? Would you do that by steps, like slowly, gently? Because
the first thing that you want to do is imagine that you're holding a sword and shield while setting the sword and shield down, and then walking up to an imagined sacred space, the door opening, and then your issue, say neck pain, walking through the door, and you welcome it. You say, well,
No, rien, de rien. Oh, I love you too, Marcel. Oh, bonjour, bonjour. I want to wear my face to the audience as I would a laver. And that is why I refuse to wear the makeup and the products, not unless they are organic. Because they make me feel nude. So, come on board, organic makeup companies, moving on TV.uk. Bonjour. No, rien, no. We're back, and on the community show today I am talking to Pete Lang, who's come all the way to High Wycombe, not from New York, but actually from where you live?
I live in Wokingham.
In Wokingham. Now, before the break, we were talking to Pete about positivity and how to make the world a better place just by doing little things, kind things, in spite of the fact that we're going through a lot. You know, people are going through grief and all sorts of stuff. And so I've got Pete here today who wants to say a little bit about that. So what can people do on a daily basis that not only makes other people feel good, but obviously if they do something nice for someone else, they're going to feel good inside. So how did you learn all of this? Were you brought up that way?
Actually, no. My parents grew up in wartime Europe, so there wasn't necessarily a lot of positivity going on there. And growing up in Queens, New York, there wasn't a lot of positivity. And you know how in most classes there's always one kid or two that everybody picks on?
That was you.
That was me.
Okay.
All right? And so I said, well, when I get the chance, I'm going to make sure that I do what I can to make sure that doesn't happen to other people.
Okay,
Yeah.
so where did this come from? Because a lot of people that grow up with so much negativity and pain, they don't know how to be positive. They don't know how to be grateful. I never learned any of that. It took me a whole life transformation to be able to do this. So where did this come to? Did you have an awakening of some kind? Did you read a book?
Well, I
What
mean,
happened?
I'm going to have to say I was born with some of it.
Mhm.
All right? Because neither of my parents were terribly religious. And even though I went to a Lutheran primary school, all right, I, I, I inquired those kinds of questions. I just couldn't believe that life was meant to be miserable. All right, I wasn't prepared to accept that. All right, and I started exploring how to not be miserable. All right, and probably the first big thing that I discovered was there was a little notice behind the library that said, "Come to a class on transcendental meditation."
Okay.
All right, for free.
So that's basically the first thing that you
That was the
did.
first thing.
A lot of us go into
That's-
positivity that way, didn't
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know,
Yeah,
and you know, I mean, transcendental meditation is, I think, kind of more of a business and a scam than it is, you know, a true, you know, let's make the world a better place kind of an organization. But nonetheless, you know, in today's world, you can just go, you know, type into Google, how can I meditate, or how do I learn to meditate, or go to YouTube, and there'll be hundreds of
Yeah.
videos that will show you how to do it. All right.
They all lead to the same thing. We all want to find that positivity. And
Here's there are thousands of different meditation techniques. All right, and they're not necessarily all for the same goal. All right. Now, basic transcendental meditation and many meditations, the objective is to bring you, a human being, in contact with the totality of humanity and with the universe. All right, so there's a lot of meditation that's associated with that. All right, but you know, there's meditation on any topic. You know, I've got on my computer, I've got probably 10 or 15 different meditations to help you lose weight.
Okay, so, but coming back to the positive thing,
Right.
what did you start using to help you to get through on a daily basis, that people can do on a daily basis, would you say?
Well, for me it was transcendental meditation, all right? And I'm not suggesting that is, I'll give you the meditation technique in the time we have left. Very simple, okay? All right, sit in a comfortable chair, sit up as straight as you can, but don't freak out about, you know, being rigid. And breathe in, say 1. Breathe out, say 1. That's it. Keep and repeat. And then do that for as long as you want to do that for. You know, start off with 10 minutes, and then if you do that 20 minutes twice a day, in a month or two, you will notice something is different.
Okay, and thank you, Pete. That's amazing, because what you're doing is you're focusing your mind. It's a bit like you could be sitting there looking at a candle, and you're looking at the flicker of the
Right.
candle,
Right.
and that brings your mind into focus,
Right.
doesn't it? It brings you into the moment.
That's right.
That's what it does.
But that is the objective of many forms of meditation. And I think personally that even people who do not believe in spiritual things are still trying to find a way to stay in the moment, because I think that's just something that human beings naturally do. That's one of the things that we have come to this world to figure out.
To stay in the moment.
How to stay in the moment. And if you can do that, you are staying closer to your higher power.
That's fantastic. So this helps you, and you've also got into Unity. When did you get involved in Unity, would you say?
I got involved in Unity in the 90s. And what happened was I had gone to a Unitarian Universalist church, and decided I had moved and I wanted to go to another one. And I looked up an address in the phone book, and I thought it was a Unitarian Universalist church. It turned out to be a Unity church.
Right.
All right, and that's the first time I'd never even heard of Unity.
Okay.
All right, and they have a very, very simple 5 basic rules. That's it. There's no theology. There's nothing that you have to remember. Nothing that you have to agree to. All right. Nothing that you have to believe in. There are 5 rules, although if you don't necessarily believe in those, nobody's going to kick you out either.
Sure.
And then after that, you know, it's a safe place for you to decide, you know, the nature of your higher power and how you can get closer to it.
Okay. Okay, so moving on from Unity, that's where I met Pete and over the last few years, and I as I said, I have failed that you would make an incredible presenter, host for Moving on TV.
I'm honored.
Because the whole point of Moving on TV is positivity and, you know, teaching people how to rise above what's going on in our world. So how do you feel about that?
Quite excited.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm as you know, I'm studying to be a minister because,
Yeah.
you know, as a matter of fact, I finished all of my classes. All right, I've got a bunch of practical things before I get.
Did you get a title that we have to call you by?
Pete.
Just Pete.
Yeah. Yeah. You become a certified teacher. All right.
Right.
And then you become a minister.
Okay.
All right. So I'm working on my certified teacher bit. All right. But that gives you enough juice to be able to conduct the day-to-day affairs of a church.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Either here in Britain or in the United States. So you know, because there are just so many people that are so sad, and I saw a BBC show about some outrageous number, like 5 million people in Britain will go an entire month without speaking to somebody on any kind of more than one sentence. And so the number of people, and it seems it's worse here than it is in the United States when it comes to that.
Moving on TV. Get them talking, get
That's
them
true.
interacting.
That's true.
The whole point.
I really think that while the internet and TV is a wonderful thing, all right, one bad thing about it is that it makes it a lot easier to sit in your house by yourself.
Exactly.
All right,
That's what
and so before then, you know, people would form groups. All right, and I can tell you, all right, as somebody who in, you know, their later years, obviously I didn't go to school here. All right, it is very, very hard, you know, to meet people and to develop a social life if you didn't have one before you got here. You know, so and you know, I'm when I'm thinking about when I go back to the United States, you know, helping organize groups to get together, because people are like cattle and dogs. All right, they are herd animals.
Their followers.
Well, no. In other words, they are herd animals. They don't live by themselves. That's why
They like to be with people.
They like to be with other
They're
people.
social.
That's right.
And loneliness is not a
That's
natural
right. That's
thing.
right. Which is why solitary confinement is considered such an onerous punishment. All right, because I mean, are you doing anything particularly terrible to them? No. All right. You know, you're feeding them. You know, you're giving them a place to sleep. All right. It is you are depriving them from interacting with other human beings.
Exactly.
And
that's one of the problems, sorry Pete, this is one of the problems, that loneliness causes depression and causes mental illness. You know, as you know from my story, when I was in the wheelchair, the depressions were getting very serious. So what we're trying to do here is we want to bring people on, and you know, as a host or a presenter or someone who's involved in this, in Moving on TV, we want to bring people on to get them out of the house, to find their uniqueness, to find their talents, to find anything that makes them feel that they're connected in some way to the human race. So, but I'm going to have to end the interview there. And it's wonderful having you here, and I'm really looking forward to you doing some interviews and possibly interviewing me. So that's it today for the community show. If you have a dream or a story, you're writing a book, you want to talk about anything that makes you feel good inside, or if there's any way that we can help you combat loneliness, combat unhappiness, and stop you from watching all the negative stuff out there, then please contact me. It's Laurene, Laurene @movingontv.uk. Come on board and, you know, we'll work together. Anyway, it's lovely speaking to you today, Pete. Thank you so much.
God bless.
Take care.
All right, cheers.
Namaste, everyone.